And welcome into another edition of Tobs Talk, everybody. My name is Riley Corcoran, getting you ready for tonight's game. The Wilson Tobs will take on the Petersburg Generals. A huge night at historic Fleming Stadium. It is fireworks night. It is Thirsty Thursday. It's our Schools Out celebration. We hope you can join us at the ballpark. One of our biggest nights of the year. Rain or shine, hopefully, that we will play this game tonight. The Wilson Tobs coming in on a 2-game winning streak, looking very good the last 2 nights, helped by the starting pitching. Someone you're going to hear from later on in the show, Matt Bournes, 2 nights ago threw a complete game 3-hitter, which was very impressive. Last night, John Valak III, 8 innings pitched, 2 hits for him. So the Tobs are starting to roll a little bit more, and Fayetteville and the Tobs are starting to separate themselves from the rest of the Eastern Division. Fayetteville currently 7-1, Wilson right now 6-2. A pretty comfortable, I guess, margin between 2nd and 3rd right now in the East Division. Petersburg will come here tonight, and Petersburg's been struggling, 2-6 overall for them, and not doing very well offensively. So we'll break down plenty more here in Tobs Talk coming up. We'll speak with Coach Love about the 2-game winning streak, what else he likes from this team moving forward. Matt Bournes, the 6'8" right-hander from Eastern Illinois, how great he has been for the Wilson Tobs, leading the CPL right now in innings pitched, also tied for the CPL League in wins with 2 in his first 2 appearances. Also, Matt Micah will join me. We'll break down this matchup tonight, the Tobs moving forward with what they're doing, get you up to date, of course, with the social media aspect that we are trying to establish with the Wilson Tobs. So great show for you. We hope you stick with us. This is Tobs Talk on Greenlight. We are back, Tobs Talk on Greenlight. Riley Corcoran joined by Coach Austin Love, and getting a little winning streak back together, Coach. It feels good, and we talked about the starting pitching last time here in the interview, and that was the difference. 17 innings pitched by Matt Bournes as well as John Valak III. Let's talk about the starting pitching. It had to be nice, giving the bullpen a break first and foremost.
Yes, we started out very thin with our arms, and those 2 young men went out and competed. Matt probably threw more pitches than we would have liked to have thrown, 2 nights ago, but they definitely gave our bullpen some relief. So now we're at full strength. We can, use those guys as freely as we like to in these next few games. Tonight and tomorrow against Fayetteville. So hopefully we can keep it going tonight and make it a full winning streak with 3 games.
What specifically did you like about Matt's game with what he did? He worked very quickly, effectively, but didn't have too many strikeout numbers, but didn't need to. He's pitching to contact at some point, but just had to be nice for the defense. They were consistently in the game, had a good flow to it. What did you like most about Matt's performance?
With pitching staffs in general, especially young guys, I appreciate when they pitch inside, and Matt does that, with good off-speed stuff. And it's kind of an equalizer for a lot of hitters who like to just look away. And he pretty much has his own game plan, calls his own pitches for the most part that I understand, dealing with Coach Serber. And, 2 times out, he's, 2-0, and hopefully he'll keep it going.
Were you a little bit nervous in that 9th inning? You think, man, it's just going so smoothly, and then all of a sudden, bases loaded, no outs. How much panic was down there in the dugout?
No, like I said, the only panic was that, my starter's throwing more pitches.
Right.
There's no panic, though, because when you're the home team, you're playing with house money because you get the extra at-bat. So it's almost like you're +1 in the offensive column because no matter what, you get a chance to score again. So, our approach at the plate that day was pretty good. So as far as them possibly tying it up, it's just baseball.
A great double play by Billy Matroni and Kevin Carr to help seal the deal. And then last night was the John Valak III show and Sean Godfrey at the plate. But John Valak III, a little bit different style than Matt Bournes because he's not exactly a power pitcher, a crafty lefty. He was in control and command. He had Petersburg just guessing all night.
Yeah, he is actually spot on what his coach at Akron told me was really good changeup. Yeah. Is not afraid to use it in hit positive hitter counts, and actually showed some good fastball at times to strike some guys out, which was very exciting. So, again, we probably made it a little too interesting at the end. Watching his pitch count went to Bobby Gazzola, who were trying to teach him how to be a closer, with that mentality and the arm strength that he has. But again, when you get that kind of starting pitching and you win, another situation where he probably should have thrown a shutout, minus an error or 2. So, we're very pleased, and then we got, another great arm on the mound tonight. So
Christian Slaznik on the bump tonight. We'll get to that in a second. How about the new kid, Sean Godfrey? He's just coming onto the scene right away. He's 4 for 8. He's had 2 multi-hit contests in his first 2 starts with the Tobs. We know that he brings a lot to the table. Did you expect something like this when you maybe recruit him to come play for the Tobs, or or what have you, but he led his team in every statistical category offensively that counted really for Ball State this year. I have to be pleased at least with his initial performance.
Oh, definitely pleased. And he's one guy, come this spring after we did all our recruiting,
Right.
he was one of the first young men I spoke to,
Okay.
On the phone. And I think at the time they were like in third place in their league, and he was confident they were going to turn it around. But he pretty much told me, he said, Coach, my main goal is I want to win a championship, whether it's I want to win one right now in school ball, but when I get there for the summer, I want to win there. And he's kept up with us and pretty much has been ready to go, minus dealing with some stuff at home and pretty much doing his exit interview with the school because they lost in the MAC championship. Right. But he came in and was ready to go, and he worked on his game a lot this year, cut down on his strikeouts, which I thought was huge. Right. And he's just jumped in there, and again, these guys have pretty much embraced him as a teammate and as a brother, and he's jumped in and done what we asked him to do. And
brother, a word that we're starting to hear a little bit more from this team. We'll get into that maybe in a different segment because we could talk about that all night with the bus ride coming back. But this matchup, you were talking a little bit about Christian Slazenik with what he's shown. Again, trying to work him back in with that hamstring injury that he had coming with the Tobs. He didn't pitch at all this year in competitive play, but through 4 innings against Peninsula's first start, trying to ease him back into it. Expecting a big start tonight?
Yes. Again, he pitches very similar to John, that he does have the good changeup and secondary stuff, all speed-wise, but he probably has a little more fastball than John, which I think will help him as well. Strike thrower, can get ground balls, and we expect to have similar results to last night with him on the mound.
And the Tobs trying to win their 3rd consecutive game. We will take a break right now and talk with Matt Bournes coming up next. This is Tobs Talk on Greenlight. Welcome back to the show. Riley Corcoran joined by Matt Bournes, now the star pitcher right now for the Tobs, leading the CPL in innings pitched already, as well as tied for the CPL league with 2 wins right now in his first 2 starts. And Matt, let's just get into that. Start 2 nights ago for you. You go the complete game. You allow just 3 hits, 2 runs, one of them being earned. What did you think was working for you, I guess, initially? When did you know it was going to be a pretty good start?
Right after the first inning, I could really tell. They had a good pitcher on the mound too, and he was working really fast, and I was able to work off him. We had the game under 2 hours pretty much. So once he started working, I was just able to throw first pitch strike most of the time, and they were swinging first pitch the whole day. So I was able to get 10 pitch innings, and I was able to really move pretty quick.
And going against Travis Conley, who was the reigning CPL pitcher of the week. Don't want to foreshadow it too much, but might be seeing the CPL pitcher of the week right here with his performance. And again, working quickly, is that something that you maybe like to do? You said you built off him a little bit with the pace of the game.
Yeah, I always work quick. Getting quick outs. I love to keep hitters off balance. Hitters hate when you're working quick as soon as you get the ball and you start throwing. So and they hate. They were swinging first pitch, and when they weren't, I had them off balance most of the time.
And something, too, with you get on the mound, obviously a dominating force. 6'8" is Matt Bournes, but would you consider yourself a power pitcher? Because I was impressed the other night with, you didn't really care about the strikeouts. You were just letting those guys swing at it. You only had 4 of them in the game, but do you consider yourself a power pitcher, or what do you really focus on?
I would consider myself a power pitcher. Mostly through the college season, I was able to get a lot of outs with breaking balls. I didn't throw mostly fastballs, and coming into the summer ball, I really wanted to make sure I got fastball control, so I was just trying to stay on the outside and inside most of the time. And when college hitters see fastballs, they're going to be swinging at that mostly. So I threw probably 85% fastballs, and they were just swinging, so I wasn't really looking for the K.
And Matt Bournes now again 2-0, leads the CPL in innings pitched, turning into the ace of the staff, at least for now. I know very early on in the season, but for you, Matt, coming into to play for the Tobs, you threw 88, 89, 90 innings, somewhere around there in college ball. Where are you at as far as arm-wise, being tired at all? Are you all right with, I guess, your stability, stamina right now?
As of right now, yeah. I felt my last start at school, I threw 9 innings, and I felt probably the best I had all year. So then I took a week off between coming here and school ball, so my arms felt great ever since.
And again, playing at Eastern Illinois, kind of a scare though. When we were talking initially about it, Matt, your senior year, you developed, something happened with an injury, and it's fortunate at least that you signed early on before the injury happened. But tell everyone about what happened to you senior year in high school.
Well, I was talking to Eastern for a long time, and end of February I decided to commit. Then within 2 weeks the season had started. I played 1 game, and then we were in the weight room, and somebody dropped a 25-pound weight on my finger, and it exploded the whole nail off my finger, and so I ended up getting surgery on my hand, and I had to sit out for the entire season, and I came back for the last 4 games, and I had no nail, so I didn't really get to throw. And then I seen that summer I was really limited to pitching, so I really didn't throw. So going into college ball, I was kind of a wild card.
Well, making up for it now, again, over the 100-inning mark between college ball and playing for the Wilson Tobs. How about embracing the ace role? I know that we've talked about this a bit off the air, but, I mean, your first 2 starts kind of speak for themselves, what you've been able to do. You like being that guy everyone's very confident in on the mound, or how do you embrace being the ace of staff here?
Well, in college ball, I mean, we had 2 of our top starters in Christian going down and our other starter. I mean, I really had to step up, and I mean, I was able to take the role. And so coming into the summer ball, I knew what I needed to do to become one of the better pitchers on our team. And
doing that just for the Wilson Tobs as well, Matt Bournes, maybe the next CPL pitcher of the week. We'll have to stay tuned for next week to find out. We will talk with Matt Micah previewing this game's matchup coming up next. This is Tobs Talk on Greenlight. Welcome back to Tobs Talk, everyone. Riley Corcoran and Matt Micah with you to discuss the last couple of games and preview tonight's big home contest against the Petersburg Generals. And the last 2 nights, we were talking about it on Tuesday, Matt. It's just something where, man, when is the pitching going to come around? Well, it answered. Matt Bournes, John Valek III, 17 innings pitched between the 2 of them the last 2 starts, keeping the Tobs in the game, giving the bullpen a rest. Let's just talk about the pitching in general, how good those 2 guys were.
Valek and Bournes took upon themselves the leadership role and took upon themselves to be the guy and carry this team for a couple of W's.
Right.
They were struggling with pitching, they were struggling to find the strike zone, and they took upon themselves, which was very impressive.
And Valek III last night, we'll get to that in a second, but let's start with Matt Bournes because that one came first, and that's when they really needed it, that being the Tobs. Wilmington, a little bit better record than Petersburg, not knocking John Valek III for what he did, but Matt Bournes, what he did, 2 hours and 2 minutes was that game, so he moved very quickly throughout it. He allowed just 3 hits, 2 runs, one of them being earned. What did you like most from Matt Bournes?
His confidence. Definitely his confidence. He took, like I said before, he took upon himself to be the guy and to establish the strike zone early. He attacked his hitters with his fastball. That's his go-to, is his fastball. He dials in low 90s, and he gets guys out.
And something with the top of the 9th inning, with the Tobs in that game, the errors, all of a sudden they came. They were clean through the first 8 innings of play, the 9th inning. 2 errors, so something to overcome. Good to deal with that adversity. A weird finish with 6-4-3 double play, and then a line out, but a coach gets tossed for Wilmington before. Had a little bit of everything that top of the 9th inning.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy, especially with the coach getting tossed. I was kind of surprised with that. Your tight ball game, the coach gets tossed, but the Tobs handled the adversity very, very well and just proceeded on.
And turning the page into last night's game, very different. I know we're talking about attendance a lot, Matt, but Petersburg, Virginia, a little bit different than what I thought. There were 42 fans in attendance. I know they listed 180, but it's a little bit different than what we're used to. We saw 4,000 people in Fayetteville. We've seen upwards of 1,500, 2,000 here in Wilson. It seemed just dead. There was no atmosphere surrounding the game whatsoever, but that didn't bother John Valek III. The crafty lefty, he never threw a pitch more than 82 miles an hour. Quite a contrast from what we've seen this year from other pitchers. But what did John Valek III do so well to just stymie Petersburg, only 2 hits in 8 innings?
He spotted up his fastball. He spotted up his fastball and then used his changeup and used his curveball effectively. If you live low in the zone, you're going to be effective. It doesn't matter, how fast you throw. You could throw 100 miles per hour, live up in the zone, you're going to get tattooed.
John Valek III, the only run that came around to score on him was because of a wild pitch. So he was in control all night. A great game. Let's talk about the hitting a bit. It hasn't been like that 4-game winning streak when the Tobs are putting up 8, 13, 8 consistently, but they're getting enough hits to get the job done. Sean Godfrey last night, he started just 2 games for the Tobs. He's already 4 for 8, so bursting onto the scene very, very effectively is Sean Godfrey from Ball State, where he led the team in pretty much every category you could offensively. Last night, 3 of the team's 4 RBIs.
Yeah, he hit the ball very, very well, and he carried the team offensively, and everyone kind of fed off of that energy. He got on base, he wreaked havoc on the base path, he scored some runs, and he got this offense going.
And also what he's doing, the Tobs are very deep in the outfield. We have 6 outfielders right now, and creates a little competition, bringing everybody to the table. We've seen that from Bradley Morton, a couple guys like that. The roster is almost complete. There might be a few additions, a few people that might be leaving the Tobs. Again, we'll tell you more about that tomorrow. Nothing has to be done as of yet, but Bradley Morton, one of those guys that he's batted ninth the last 2 nights, he has come up in huge spots.
Yeah, he's batting very, very well now. I feel like the pressure is kind of off him now.
Right.
He's batting in the 9th spot. He's kind of comfortable there. He can get on base, and then he can wreak havoc on the base pass for the 1, 2, 3 spots.
And let's talk about the standings in the East Division right now. Fayetteville 7-1, Wilson 6-2. Starting to separate themselves again. I know it's early, but separating themselves from the rest of the competition. Fayetteville, they'll play Friday and Saturday, taking care, hopefully, of Petersburg tonight. Let's get into that matchup a bit more. I didn't see too much from Petersburg that would maybe scare you, alarm you. Going on the mound tonight for the Tobs will be Christian Slaznik, and he's going to try and work that pitch count up a little bit more. From Slaznik, when he started in Peninsula, what was something that you thought he could build off of?
Definitely establishing the strike zone early, getting ahead with, 0-1, 0-2, and definitely putting people away.
Right.
That's something that the Tobs have struggled on right now, is putting people away and then getting ahead early.
And something the Tobs have struggled on too, errors. They've committed a ton, just struggling in the infield. 3 errors last night, 2 errors the night before. So hopefully we'll clean up their defense. The Tobs looking to improve to 7-2 tonight against Petersburg. We're going to wrap up the show next. This is Tobs Talk on Greenlight. Another show in the books on Tobs Talk here. Matt, Mike, and Riley Corcoran. Let's discuss the social media aspect of it again, Matt. I know all of our fans are very pleased with how it's been, keeping up to date with the Tobs when they're on the road or at home. Just another reminder so we can let our fans, I guess, in on the Tobs a little bit more. Tell everyone about it.
All right, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now we have a YouTube page with us, with the Tobs Talk. And follow us at Wilson Tobs with Instagram. I take pictures of the stadiums when we go to different venues, stuff like that. If you're not there at the games, it's kind of cool to see what the ballpark's like. I'll take pictures of batting practice so you can see the guys, in action games and stuff like that. Twitter, I'll update all the fans with the in-game tweets. And then on Facebook, I'll post what's going on, who's pitching, stuff like that. So definitely follow us on all those accounts.
And we'll take a picture of the crowd usually, just not in Petersburg, Virginia, because there's only about 42 people that showed up at that game again last night. But tonight's game, they'll take on the Petersburg Generals again for the back-to-back of this 2-game series. And it's going to be fireworks night, School's Out celebration. I know that you've been in on that with Robin Hooser. So I guess give the people a reason to come out tonight, Matt.
Well, first off, I feel it's great that the Tobs are supporting the education part of this. Kids, young kids getting an education, so they can establish their futures, and careers and stuff like that. And then with the fireworks, it's gonna be,
I'm looking forward
exactly.
to it. I mean, we've seen fireworks shows on the road. Want to see what historic Fleming Stadium has to offer. Gates tonight will open at 6 o'clock. First pitch at 7 o'clock. Christian Slaznik will be on the mound for the Wilson Tobs. I'll do it for this episode. We'll see you again tomorrow. Tobs Talk on Greenlight.